Hello, my name is Andrew Bolton, Professor of Medicine, University of Manchester, UK, and Visiting Professor, University of Miami, Florida. I'm also incoming President of the International Diabetes Federation, and I think that we need to remember the seriousness of diabetes, and we need across the world to raise the profile of diabetes equal or even above that, for example, of cancer, another chronic and feared disease. The statistics for diabetes, as you all know, are horrendous. And it's just over 100 years, in fact, last November, that we had 100 years that we were remembering the end of the First World War. And it was estimated that about 4.5 million, or thereabouts, were killed each year during the First World War on the battlefields. But if you look at statistics for diabetes, there are more than that number dying each year from diabetes and its complications across the world. So we really need to take diabetes seriously. We can no longer go on saying, this is a touch of sugar, my grandmother had it, it'll be okay. Data that we've published from my group in Manchester, looking at patients with diabetes with chronic renal failure who are with end-stage disease on dialysis, the outcome for these patients is that 50% will be dead within 2 years. If they also have a foot problem and, for example, have lost a toe or part of a foot, 3 out of 4 of these patients are dead within 2 years. So we really need to take diabetes seriously. Primary prevention, that is preventing those at high risk from going on to develop diabetes. Screening of high-risk groups, certain ethnic groups, those with obviously morbid obesity, those inactive, and a family history of diabetes, and so on. So we really need to be proactive in primary prevention, secondary prevention. In the UK, as you know, it has been shown that bringing in the mass screening for diabetic retinopathy with a retinal photograph taken each year has taken diabetes off the #1 spot for the cause of blindness in young aged adults. So secondary is those who have diabetes, preventing them getting the late complications. We know how to do that, glycemic control, etc. And tertiary prevention, if you've got neuropathy, for example, is preventing them going on to get a foot ulcer. So we need to be proactive in prevention, raising the profile of diabetes as a serious and life-threatening disease in its late stages that needs to be taken as seriously as we take cancer. And I think that's the message for governments across the world in the next 2 years when I'll be looking after the IDF. Thank you.